who is that in the background right there? This newspaper right here is extremely important. Everyone's talking about Helly acting weird, especially with this hug right here. Like, she's like, who are you? This relationship is really everything. And obviously, what in the world? We got to talk about that. So Severance Season 2 premiere came out last night, and it was worth the wait 100%. But we're left with tons of questions. But there's so many details in here, foreshadowing things, so much. So we're going to go through and I'm going to talk about my theories, my predictions, my questions, all of that. And honestly, that ending makes me feel something about Mark S., but we'll talk about that when we get to it. Okay, so this scene right here, this did a great job of setting up a mystery almost right away. And what's crazy about this scene right here, this dude right here in the background, it looks like Mark S., like a different version of him. Now, there's theories of clones and everything like that, even from season 1. But what this reminds me of, typically, this setup right here is almost like a time travel. Like, you see this in time travel a lot, like a whole like Back to the Future situation where someone is looking, or like Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban, something like that. That's what this reminds me of. I don't think time travel is in here. However, due to the very end with this whole thing with his wife at the end, but it makes me feel like there's multiple versions of a lot of these people, not just that are severed, but in the town, which I want to talk about too. That's one of my theories. Then color is a big thing in this show. There was a lot of blues and reds last season. This season, we got a ton of purple, like a lot of purple in this episode. And that's blue and red put together, obviously. So last year we had a lot of blue and red. Now you get purple is put together. Obviously, this might be the office they ran past in season 1 that was like under construction. Now, when it comes to all the new people, his new team, this was a complete mystery to me, to be honest with you. Like a complete mystery. I have no idea, none whatsoever, how they play into anything. I was really thinking about it. And the only thing about the team that stood out to me was this. It actually had nothing to do with the team itself. It had to do with what Dylan said about the team, this part.
Okay, well, I don't think you should feel bad at all. Feel bad? Yeah, for ending their lives. Fuck them.
That is so out of character for Dylan, right? Because we also see when he talks with Irving, like how caring he is and how much he doesn't want someone to die, right? And so that just felt out of character. And at the beginning of this video, I said, you know, people are talking about Helly acting weird. Dylan was acting weird to me too, especially that line. And as we go back to these balloons right here, notice how Mark S's face is on each balloon. All the balloons are blue, right? I feel like this kind of plays into my theory of multiple versions of him being out there. I feel like this symbolizes that. And that definitely could be a reach. But hey, we're on the first episode here. I'm throwing out theories, okay? But I do think this symbolism 100% is on purpose. Now, here's a detail I didn't see anybody talking about online yet. So as Mark S is going into Milchick's office, do y'all see this crate here that looks like there's a blanket in here? Like, is this where Miss Wong was? Are they in boxes? Are they in crates? Like, what is this thing right here? And you notice as the scene goes on, Mark S moves in front and blocks it completely for like the rest of the time. So something is definitely up with that, 100%. So here's another little detail I saw when Mark was running to talk to the board. Everyone's waiting for him to find the speaker, but as he's rummaging through the cabinets, I find something interesting here. So right here, this looks like some type of beard kit, right? But then you have here, and they shot this for a reason and zoomed in on it. So I wonder if it has to do with this bottle right here. It's just very interesting that it's written in a different language. I don't know. I feel like there's something with this. Y'all let me know if you think, because I mean, they shot this on purpose, right? Now, I also haven't seen anybody talking about this. I believe right here that Mark is in the black elevator, like the black hallway with that elevator. I think that's where he is right here. And that's why he doesn't go back to his Audi, right? Because in the first season, Petey talks about how he thinks people are living down in the severed area. And I think that's the black hallway leads there. Because look, if you stop it at the right time, look at that. See, it changes. Look at that. Goes black, right? They're like reprogramming him or something down there. Also, notice how he freaks out when he comes back. That never happens in the first season. Why is he scared, right? That doesn't make sense either. And then after that, all of a sudden his team comes back. That makes me feel like it's not even like the real team or something. And maybe that's why everybody's acting so weird, especially Dylan and Helly. Shout out Keanu Reeves for the voiceover. So if people's theory about Helly are actually being Helena is true, this scene would make sense where they're trying to keep people from hearing and all that. And Helly goes, he said there's no microphones and no one listening. And then Dylan was still like, hey, whatever, still be quiet. She's the one listening. She's the one spying. This scene right here does make me think this is not Helly.
Us and the Audis were not. And speaking for myself, I don't think we owe them shit.
See, but I don't think she's talking about the Audis right there. I think she's talking about the innies. They don't owe the innies anything. But there's a line of dialogue earlier where Mark says, you can't just make my friends disappear. And I feel like this was on purpose 100%. Look how this transitions right here. They literally fade away. They disappear. What is that about? This scene right here was just truly everything. Just the vulnerability between these two people, that friendship really just makes you soak in this. These people are like the only people these people know. And if they leave, they essentially die, right? And so this scene was everything. All right, here's another big theory I have. I think Miss Wong is Miss Cobell possibly, or just has something to do with her, especially because this scene right here, right? She takes out the Kier toy, right? Hello, Miss Cobell. And it goes from this, and then it goes to the girl, and then it goes back and forth, saying hello, Miss Cobell, right? And I think there has to be something with that. Now, I feel like there's some type of rotation with the chips, or some type of, they're trying to have reincarnation or something. 'Cause at the end of season 1, the old Egan guy says something about revolving, right? Which means it like keeps going. And I'm telling you, that makes sense because at the end here, we're about to talk about the big plot twist right here. Okay, right here, right? Iteration number 25. That means that his wife has been made 25 times. So I wonder how many times Mark has been made. I also feel like maybe the car accident that killed her wasn't actually an accident. Maybe Lumen had something to do with it. Maybe it was her way of, I don't know. But people found out these things at the bottom right here, the WODRFCMA, those are the 4 tempers, right, that Kira talks about. So it feels like they're like coding or programming these people, right? Then Cold Harbor, when you look that up, what's interesting, you have the Battle of Cold Harbor here, which is about the Civil War in Virginia. So that's interesting. Wonder if it has anything to do with that. But I want to go back to the newspaper because the newspaper said something that relates back to this. So here on the newspaper, it's hard to see on here, but I zoomed in on my phone, so you just got to take my word for it. So it talks about this new science and technology and breakthrough for plastic and being able to break down plastic because they have some technology to change the molecular makeup of plastic to, make it so that it's degradable. And I feel like that definitely plays into this idea of reprogramming or doing whatever they're doing to these people. And I think these clones or however they're making all these iterations of people has to be happening in that black elevator, in that hallway. It has to. Also, what's really interesting is I want to know how Irving knows about the black hallway. Like, he must have been in there at some point, but he has no recollection of it. Like, his innie doesn't. And so I want to know how his outie figured that out. But yeah, those are some details and theories and questions that I wanted to point out with episode 1. I'm going to be back next week for episode 2. I love Severance so much. Like, y'all leave all your theories and questions and all that in the comments because we got to figure this out before the finale. I always like guessing what happens before it does. So until next week, I'll see y'all.